Well, that's no fun. It's all I've been hearing for the past day while driving, and there's also a little, I don't know if you guys can hear it, there's a little squeak that's developed. We'll have to address that in another video. We don't got time for that today. We gotta go to work. Riding in the old tried and true 7.3 today. If I can find the key. Sweet.
Try to take out Melania as well.
Now before we go any further, I think I should alleviate about 50% of the comments by doing this one for you guys. By the way, there is a seat in the Ford. I know a lot of people were concerned because they couldn't see the seat in the last video. Anyways, you know, it was weird when I first started driving. I almost exclusively had to wear a seatbelt. You know, I felt weird if I didn't have it on. And then as I got older, and kind of more recently within the last 2 years, I've just kind of stopped wearing it altogether. You know, I don't necessarily agree with seatbelt laws, just like I don't agree with motorcycle helmet laws. Being that if you get in a wreck, you not wearing a seatbelt, it's not going to hurt anybody else other than yourself. So the project we're going to work on today, I don't know if you guys saw in my older videos, but it's the yacht club project. We did it used to be an old shipyard. They turned it into yacht leasing offices, storage units for everybody that has a slip in that area. So we've done some large projects there. We installed a custom steel staircase that we built, as well as a bunch of other stuff. My buddy Dave, who, if you guys watch my previous videos, you'll see, but if not, you're about to meet in a minute. He kind of took me on right after I got my license, and we partnered up on a bunch of projects, and that really helped make the transition of going from, you know, getting your license sitting at home with nothing to do versus, you know, being able just to jump right in. What's up, brother?
Yo, whoa.
Say hi to the world.
Good morning, world.
The world's already met you in one of my older videos, but they're new to these new videos, and they don't really watch the old videos, so reintroduce yourself.
Well, let's see. I'm Dave. I am a 38-year-old artist, which you're probably not going to meet a lot of them that haven't given up by now. But I'm fortunate enough to have my good man Rhino roll with me on some of these sculptures. Some of them more glamorous than others. But I always look forward to the day where Rhino blesses me with his company.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So here's all the gate frames, freshly painted, ready to be loaded up in the truck. Me and this behemoth right here. We'll get them all loaded up and head on over to the job site. So we got everything strapped down. Everybody wonders why I don't use the Chevy as much for work, and doing this to the Chevy would probably give me a heart attack. You know, there's obviously certain trucks for certain jobs. I use the Chevy to, it's pretty much my daily driver, but when it comes to work-wise doing this kind of stuff where I'm loading it up with a bunch of awkward shit that's really potentially gonna scratch the paint, that's when the Ford comes into handy. That's the difference between, you know, using a nice truck for work versus an older truck like this. You know, if I'm gonna haul a pallet or something, or, you know, something that's not super awkward, can potentially damage the paint, I'll use the Chevy, no problem. Now, depending on what type of job it is, you know, this truck I've outfitted for the more intense jobs, more awkward shit like this. I don't mind throwing stuff over the naked bed rails. If it scratches the paint a little bit, it's not the end of the world. The paint on this truck's not perfect. So if I ever do go to build this truck, which I would like to at some point, it's gonna need a new paint job anyway. So as long as I don't do any kind of crazy put any kind of crazy dents in it, it's not really a big deal. And you know, I find it funny when people say, hey, you buy a truck, you don't even use it for work. And normally the people that say that are driving, you know, a $2,000, $3,000 truck that's already beat to shit. Which obviously, yeah, that's the China truck you can fucking haul trash in, throw broken concrete in, haul loads of dirt in, and not give a fuck about it, which is what this one is. And that's the truck I do all that for. Now, that being said, I don't want to have just one beater truck. That's why I own the Chevy as well. I want a nice truck to be able to drive on weekends, take places, take pride in. Now, another thing I find funny is people telling me I've ruined the ability of the Chevy to tow. This 7.3 Power Stroke is completely stock. I guarantee my Chevy will out-tow this truck, no fucking problem. I bought that Chevy with towing in mind. I had a 25-foot toy hauler, right? Nothing crazy, but 25-foot toy hauler, which would haul my Rhino, plus dirt bikes in the bed. And just being that work was so busy, I ended up selling all those toys, so I don't currently have any recreational things that I tow with the truck, but you come across the occasional, you know, tow job for work. Now, speaking of two different trucks, so if you guys are on my Instagram, or maybe you've seen on here, my buddy Chris, he's got a 2016 GMC Sierra 1500 all-terrain package that he wants to have a little drag race with. So I told him, all right, let's set up a challenge. We'll hit if we hit 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, me and you will drag race your stock 2016 GMC against my truck lifted on 40s, and we'll see what truck will do better. So to kind of spice up the deal a little bit, we threw a little $500 bet down. So if we can get to 30,000 subscribers, this is where I need your guys' help. We'll do a 30K subscriber challenge. Me and Chris will have a drag race, his stock truck versus my lifted truck, and we'll see who wins. $500 on the line. So if you guys could help me get to 30K, that'd be awesome. This thing is not meant for tow mirrors. Now this is what they're trying to keep out by building this fence. Obviously some of us have fallen on hard times, but as you can imagine, they're trying to rent a lot of these places out for a lot of money, and then to have this man's entire house right here, it's not helping. Shameless. Alright guys, so we're here. They had these spots blocked off for us previously when we test fit this thing, but now, as you can see, we got some cars in the way. But hey Dave, is this
overcome? We shall overcome.
So luckily we came here previously and got all the bolts set in place, everything test fit. So essentially it's just gonna be a kind of drop her into place and bolt her in, right? Is that easy, Dave?
Fine tune it, get prettier and prettier as we go.
So we got our first panel in place, and we were just talking about there's a gate right here that opens, as well as a gate from the other side that opens. And we're thinking, hey, we're not gonna be able to adjust the gates are on wheels. But now it just hit us, we're not gonna be able to get the hardware in for the hinges. So we're gonna kind of be screwed. We gotta find out who owns this sweet race vehicle here covered in dirt and get it moved out of the way. So Dave went to go see if he could find out whose car that is, because we really do need it moved out of the way. We'll get this other bracket bolted up to the wall here and keep cruising. You know, coming in dry fitting everything prior to it getting painted, setting all your bolts in place, getting those embedded in the wall and into the concrete, it really is the way to go. So we got the first gate frame in. We're still not sure if we're gonna be able to get the second one in with this car in the way. So I was gonna say we might have to tow it, but it looks like, I'm gonna guess this is the car owner walking up right now that's gonna move it for us.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If I had to put my money where I put my money.
Good to see you. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, man. Don't be sorry at all. Thanks for looking for us. Get it out of your way. Yeah, awesome. No problem. You may have to get out of his way.
Yeah, we'll move all this stuff for you. Well, that ended up working out pretty well. I found the car's owner, so didn't have to tow it, got it moved, and we can continue with our install.
Hey man, you give me a little bit of ups on that.
I can do that for you, bud. So Dave's installing the wheel right now, being that these are long, heavy gates. You know, wheel keeps the sag out and it gives us adjustment to be able to make sure the two gates line up perfectly, you know?
Makes it look perfect when they're closed, yeah.
Now, a lot of people would look at me and Dave, and they don't necessarily think we look like contractors. Is that right, Dave?
I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about me.
But here's the thing. Not only do we have fucking combined an insane amount of years experience contracting, but this guy right here, I know he introduced himself as an artist, which he is, but he's also part genius, part athletic swimmer.
You know, I've heard that a lot, the genius thing. I've heard that a lot, but it still doesn't get old.
But it's true. So this is the guy who, drunk in a bar, decides to sign up for a Calculus 3 class just for fun. Because that's the kind of shit he is. But being, you know, teamed up with this guy right here is what makes these kinds of things go beautiful without having to get crazy dirty, without having to work overly hard. And they just work, right?
That's the plan anyway. I mean, push, don't struggle. That's what we say.
I went to you. So Dave's just getting the last wheel put on. We thought we'd have to make some fine-tune adjustments to get the two door heights to line up.
No.
But no. They actually hit pretty damn perfect, so we're gonna go ahead and bolt these on, and then we're gonna throw all our corrugated panels on it. So it turns out we were, I don't want to say we were wrong. So it turns out we lied about being perfect. The reveal's just a little bit off there. So we're gonna lower our post over here, and in doing so, with the wheel being kind of the fulcrum point, it should get our reveal nice and tits, and then we can move on. So before we put our corrugated panels on, being that Dave is the resident artist on the team, he's giving it a final coat of touch-up paint. So while we wait for the touch-up paint to dry for a minute, take you guys on a little tour of the property, show you a bunch of the stuff that we did. This is one of the roof ladders we built, all custom, in-house designed, as well as all of this galvanized railing, cable. This is all in-house design, in-house built in Dave's shop, where we picked up these panels. Actually welded up pretty much entirely all of these things. So remember my old video with my flagpole where I said my welding wasn't that great, it wasn't that pretty? It became pretty from doing all kinds of shit like this. We did all of these door jambs, which as you can see are all steel. They're big, they're heavy. Funny story about that. So like I was saying, funny story. So Dave calls me up one day and he's like, hey, I got this door jam project, you want in? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? You know, a few door jams? And he's like, yeah, no big deal, you know. Me and you go slap them in real quick. And I'm like, cool, yeah, I'm in for that. Let's do it. Well, he failed to mention that there is a shit ton of door jams. Failed to mention that they're steel, that we had to pre-drill all of them, how tall they were, how heavy they were, and there was no concrete here, there was none of this, so it was cumbersome carrying all these from the truck, throwing them in, and this ain't even all of them. You see these are all on the back side. On the front side there's just as many if not more. The other building has just as many if not more. So, thanks Dave. But then one of the other things we've done over here, and there's a video of this if you scroll back through my older work videos, is we designed and built this entire staircase. All the poured in place treads, we built the forms and poured them here, and pretty much craned all these in with a petty bone. So this one was a fun one. We did all the railing on this building back here, up top, as well as over here. All this top railing. Trash enclosure, did all that.
this is. What's she say there, man? She the right gate?
Top left, right gate. So we labeled the lefts and the rights of these gates. We didn't label the middle panels, and we had them all nice and neatly stacked back here behind the electrical panel back there. But then we had a homeless guy decide he wanted to make a house out of our materials, which you'll see right here. So the property owners told us they wanted the material out of here until we're ready to install, because the main reason of these gates is to keep the homeless guys from living in here. So in hauling all the material away, stuff got mixed up, so now Dave's in the process of trying to figure out what goes where and doing a great job at it.
Oh, thanks. Look at that.
So it's a ton of tiny little screws, tiny little nuts, but everything's pre-drilled, so it's going in pretty quick. All right, we got all the screws in on the siding. Pretty much as you can see. We're locked in now. Just got to put the gate hardware on, put the little latch to the spike to dive it in the ground, and then we can get out of here. There we go. We're all done. Another day in the books. The weather kind of cooperated today. Like I said, a lot of these vlogs it hasn't been sunny for. I don't know what the California weather's doing to us, but we'll take it on a day like this, right, Dave?
Perfect gate building weather.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now, you know, obviously you guys know I'm a contractor. Dave is a contractor as well.
Artist.
Oh, he's an artist. He's a contractor. All right. Don't let him fool you. Not only that, hold on, he's a artist, contractor, architect, engineer. Like I said, this motherfucker's a genius. Inventor as well. Anyway, aside from that, there's not a whole lot of people in this world I'm okay with working with, just because I'm so hard-headed. But for some weird reason, this fucking team right here works.
I don't know why I trust this guy, but I do.
I don't know how we deal with each other, but it fucking works, and I don't think there's any better combo.
Let the work speak for itself.
I never have more fun than when I'm working with this guy. I hope it's vice versa. But coming up over here, we got a sweet art project that's about to fill this.
Sculpture. Go ahead and call it a sculpture.
It's a sculpture. It's gonna fill this giant void over here in front of the cars.
This kid gets to fulfill his lifelong dream of getting paid to make public art.
And we're gonna keep making history. So guys, appreciate you watching. If you guys could click the subscribe button. A lot more work content, a lot more truck content, hopefully a lot more of this guy, and we'll keep making videos for you guys. Thanks guys, later.